Welcome to Alan Berry Reports TV. I'm your host, Alan Berry Labucan from alanberryreports.com. Today we have a new installment of our In the News show. This is the program where we talk about resource companies with recent developments. And on today's show, we have two companies to talk about. One is involved with uranium, and the other is a gold-focused company. Before we start with the in the news talking about those resource companies, in the last few shows we've been sort of changing up our format somewhat in that we've been opening with a commentary. We're going to do that again on today's show. We're going to start with some talking about some trends that we're noticing with long-term supply of several commodities. So that will be the opening today. Before getting started, we always like to say thank you to those that are important for us being able to do our shows. We use youtube.com as our primary website to produce and broadcast these shows so that you can watch them at your leisure. YouTube is a great website for anybody that's interested in doing online shows, and we highly recommend them. Also, if you're watching the show on our website, you'll notice to the left and right of me that we have banners. Those banner sponsors are really important in us being able to bring these shows to you. And if you're interested in doing some homework on those companies, we have the banners directly linked to those companies' websites. And if you check out their websites, you'll find plenty of information from their news, the work that they're doing on their projects, the teams that they have, plenty of stuff there for you to do your homework on those companies, and we invite you to check them out. And also to you, the viewers, you give us an audience to talk to about commodities and resource stocks, and so we really appreciate you tuning in to watch the shows. So, as I mentioned earlier, wanted to start the show talking about some trends that we've been noticing in the when it comes to resource stocks, and that one of the key things that we do, and one of our key activities that we do on a daily basis, is I go through all the various different news releases that resource companies are putting out on a daily basis on the Toronto Stock Exchange and the TSX Venture markets. These are the two key markets in the world for mining exploration and development and production. And so that's our focus. And so I go through all these various different news releases, and in the last 6 months or so, maybe a little longer, I've been noticing that it's getting more and more difficult to find new companies to talk about that are making new discoveries that I want to talk about on the shows. And this is a confirmation of something that I've talked a lot about in our past reports and shows about the long-term weakness of supply chains of many commodities that are weak because of long-term underspending over the last few decades to look for new deposits, develop those new deposits into new producing properties. And this long chronic period has really weakened up the supply chain of many commodities. In the past decade, there's been a very powerful bull market for commodity prices and resource stocks. And at this stage in the game, after a decade of that happening, we should see improving supply chains for commodities, yet we aren't. And the reasons we aren't is because of long-term, as I mentioned earlier, the long-term chronic underspending on exploration and new project development. Plus, the current mining companies are also having issues trying to replace what they mine out each year, or in the case of oil, produce each year, and they've had to rely, instead of finding new discoveries, they've been using their checkbook by buying new discoveries to improve their their reserves. Now, many of these mining companies' current mines are getting old. They're aging rapidly. They're consistently having to go. They're getting deeper and deeper for lower and lower grades, or some of them are in challenging regions. That's to operate. So all of these things combined is why the supply chains of several commodities are ill prepared to supply to supply the future demands from developed and rapidly growing emerging economies. Um, and so this has the industry, the resource companies that produce commodities in a really um, uh, tough situation when it comes to the future. Now, obviously, the price is moving up makes them their current situation very good looking, but as an industry, they have to replace what they're producing, or down the road we could have some very severe supply shocks in several commodities, and that looks like where things are going. That we watch the what's coming out on the news from the exploration side and the new development, because it's extremely important to watch that when trying to predict future prices of commodities. And the lack of new discoveries we are seeing, it's not that there's no new discoveries. We're seeing new drill results, but progressively they're lower grade, or if they're higher grade, they're found over fairly narrow intersections. And so those are not the kind of companies that we really get excited about and want to talk about on the show. And so, that's also, a very poor sign for the long-term supply chains. Um, the and as in a bottom line, this is very bullish for the prices of many commodities that we follow. What I'm concerned about is that if you have severe supply shortages, you can see some extreme volatility in the prices of those commodities, and that extreme volatility makes it very difficult for mining companies that are trying to plan for the future to plan for the future. When you are looking at one price that can change rapidly from day to day, trying to then look forward and do your economic assessment based on a really swinging price is very difficult. So it's hard for the resource companies to really then prepare for the future. And so um, these again, this situation is very bullish for commodity prices. And fortunately, since starting our reports in the summer of 2005, we found a lot of really good companies with impressive results, impressive new discoveries that look to move forward. Some of them have already moved forward and have them in production. So we have a lot to talk about on the shows about the work that those companies are doing, but I'm always on the hunt to try and find new companies to bring and talk about on the show. That's where things get challenging, and as I talked about earlier, that is a very bullish sign for commodity prices and for the resource stocks that have something impressive in the ground today. And as it looks like the value of what they have in the ground is going to continue to improve as we go forward. Um, Ultimately, the growing weakness in the supply chains based on the lack of new discoveries or lower quality is very bullish for commodities and the companies we follow in our reports and on the show. So we're happy to, it's again, a lot of this has to do with the volatility that scares me a bit. Rather see, a solid bull market in prices, not with some big swings, because that gets hard to plan for. But we're looking forward for higher prices for many commodities and that will ultimately increase the value of the assets that many of the companies we follow have, and so we maintain our bullish outlook. This Before getting into the companies in the news, I just wanted to mention that uh, this past Friday I was on BNN Business News Network. And if you didn't get a chance to watch that show and you'd like to, if you're watching the show on our website at allenberryreports.com and you look below me on the screen, I have a link to that show, and you can just click on that and it'll take you to the where you can watch the show. So today's first company we're going to talk about is New Gold Inc. On the disclosure, we're not shareholders of the company. Our past coverage is we started covering them in our Allen Berry Reports email newsletter on July the 28th, 2008, which was our 18th edition. If you're watching the show on our website, just look above me. You'll find the report section. In that report section, we have all of our past reports, and you can find that 18th edition in there. Also, we had them on one of our past shows on August the 18th, 2010. If you look above me on the website at the shows section, we have all of our past shows in there. We include the dates, an overview of the show, and a link so you can easily go watch the show. Their website is newgold.com. That's NEWGOLD.com. They had two recent press releases out. One was on February the 10th, and one was on February the 2nd, 2011. So I'm just going to go to their website now and I'll look for those two press releases. We'll start with we'll do the February 10th one first. The headline from that one is New Gold announces higher El Morro reserves and resources. They mention that, they go on that they announce that Goldcorp, its 70% joint venture partner in the El Morro project, has updated the reserves and resources for the project as of December 31st, 2011. Highlights attributable to New Gold's 30% share of the project include a 22% increase in proven and probable gold reserves to 2.5 million ounces, 8% increase in proven and probable copper reserves to 1.8 billion pounds, 1.2 million ounce and 0.5 billion pound increase in inferred gold and copper resources respectively, reflecting increased tons and higher gold and copper grades in the deeper portions of the La Fortuna deposit as it extends below the current reserve pit. And then they give you some more details about the updated proven and probable reserves. There's a quote from Robert Gallagher, who's the president and chief executive officer of New Gold, who stated, and I quote, "We are pleased with the El Morro reserve and resource update and believe the significant increase in inferred resources substantiates our belief in the upside of this world-class project. We are particularly excited to have a highly motivated partner in Goldcorp, who are poised to begin drilling programs in the coming months to further delineate the pit at El Morro and expand on positive results from other targets on the property," end quote. And then they have a bunch of more details and tables with the reserves, and you can find that all on their website in their February 10th press release. So now I'm going to go back, and the February 2nd, 2011 press release was the other one we wanted to talk about. And the headline from that one is New Gold announces highest gold production and lowest cash cost in its history and provides 2011 guidance. They went on that they announced a record quarterly and annual gold production of 124,000 ounces and 382,000 ounces respectively. That's for the quarter and for the year, with production exceeding the 2010 guidance. Then they give you some quarterly details on the cost of production. Then there's a bunch of highlights, and we'll go into those highlights. They've got some good bullet point highlights here for the fourth quarter and full year 2010. Fourth quarter total cash cost per ounce net of byproduct sales decreased by $118 per ounce to $354 per ounce from $472 per ounce in the same period in 2009, representing the lowest cost quarter in the company's history. Quarterly gold production increased by 11% to 124,000 ounces from 111,000 ounces in the same period in 2009, representing the company's highest ever quarterly production. 2010 gold production increased by 27% to 382,000 ounces from 301,000 ounces in 2009. 2010 total cash cost per ounce sold net of byproduct sales decreased by $37 per ounce to $428 per ounce from $460 per ounce in 2009. New Afton 2010 underground development of 38,000 meters or 3,800 meters beat target by 11%. Concentrate offtake agreement signed for 85% of New Afton's concentrate production, and $491 million of cash at December 31st, 2010, which increased by $100 million since September 30th, 2010. Then there's a quote from Randall Oliphant, who's the executive chairman of New Gold, and he stated, and I quote, 2010 was a great year for our company as we achieved multiple goals. Most notably, our operations continued to deliver strong results. We were able to meaningfully increase the underlying value of our asset base, and our significant year-end cash balance provides us enhanced financial flexibility. We now look forward to 2011 with excitement as we embark on a significant capital year to position both our operations and development projects for future production growth and free cash flow generation, end quote. And so that's all the key information we wanted to talk about from those two press releases. I'm just moving a couple things around here. Some of the key reasons that we follow the company is they're a gold-focused company. They have a strong management team with some of the most talented mining company builders in the industry. They're a current producer that's growing their production and keeping their costs and bringing their costs down. They're nearing commercial production on their cornerstone project, the New Afton mine. The New Afton mine will help them continue to grow their gold production and continue to bring down their cost of that production. And we think that they have a great potential to become a middle-tier producer. And the industry really needs more middle-tier producers. In the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a lot of takeovers in the industry, and that has really sort of hollowed out that middle-tier category. And now, between the exploration juniors and the large major mining companies, there's that middle tier. That middle tier is really important for the industry, and there's not enough companies in that category, and looks like New Gold can move into that category. And when they move into that category, it opens up a great deal of really good opportunities for growth for the company. And so we really like where they're steering the company for the future. A great place to start out your homework on them, again, is on their website. We always recommend people do their homework. And if you check out newgold.com, that's a great place to start doing your research on New Gold and their various projects. So now we'll move on to the second company today. The second company we're going to talk about is Fission Energy Corp. On the disclosure, we are shareholders of the company. Our past coverage includes they are a featured company in our Allen Berry Reports email newsletter. We started coverage of them on April the 6th, 2008, which was our 17th edition. If you look above me on the website, you'll notice that we have a report section. In that report section, we have all of our past reports, and you can find that 17th edition on where we talked about Fission, started coverage of Fission. We've also had them on a few of our past shows. On the September 30th, 2010 and December 1st, 2010 shows, as well as the January 19th, 2011 show. If you look above me at the shows section, you can find all of those past shows and links to go and watch them. They had two recent news releases out. One was on February the 2nd, and the other was on February the 7th. I'm just going to go to their website. Their website is fission-energy.com. That's fission-energy.com. And I'm just pulling it up now. We'll start with that February the 2nd press release. And I'm just pulling it up here. Where are we? On their website, they have a section called News Releases. And as always, whenever you want your computer to work quickly, it seems to be taking its time. So we're looking for the February... I got my dates wrong. It's actually February the 1st. And on that one, the headline is Fission hits new mineralization at the unconformity 30 meters and 338 meters west of the J zone. They went on that Fission and their partner, Korea Waterbury Uranium Limited Partnership, announced results completed vertical step-out drilling at its Waterbury Lake project in the Athabasca Basin, has expanded the J-Zone uranium discovery at its western margin, in addition to identifying new unconformity-related mineralization within the Discovery Bay corridor, which is 338 meters to the west of the currently defined J-Zone boundary. Then they give you some details about the recent drill holes. They're talking about the past drilling that was done in close proximity and what they're seeing in the radiometric surveys of their current drilling. Then they give you a lot of detail, a bunch of details about the recent discovery and the about the recent drilling, and you can find that all in the press release from their February 1st, 2011 press release. Later on, some of the reasons that we were really encouraged by this news is that when you're looking for really high grade deposits like are found in Saskatchewan when it comes to uranium, you don't need really big deposits to have a lot of pounds of uranium. And so when you start seeing discoveries that are 30-meter step-outs or 338 meters away. Now, whether that is a new discovery or part of the known discovery still remains to be determined. But when you have those kind of situations, it gets really exciting, and that's what stood out from this press release for us. Now, they also had one out on February the 7th. I got the dates right there. So on the February 7th, the headline is intersection of 16.5 and 15 meters expand J-zone western perimeter by 60 meters. So now they're continuing to expand from that they mentioned in that previous news release. Then they go on that Fission and their partner Korea Western Waterbury Uranium Limited Partnership announced vertical step-out drilling at the Waterbury Lake project in the Athabasca Basin has further expanded the J-Zone high-grade uranium discovery 60 meters to the west, increasing its area to 170 meters and up to 50 meters from what was 140 meters by 50 meters. So they're getting some extensions there. Then they go on and give you a lot of really great details about the current exploration that's going on, what the focus has been, why they've been drilling in the areas that they are to basically follow up on past drilling success and look for new discoveries. And again, you can find all of that on their recent press releases. And that's all the key information we wanted to talk about from their press release. I'm just going to pull something up. So, other things, the drill results, the lab results from those recent drilling are underway, and we're looking forward to seeing the lab results, which will give us percentages of uranium in the drilling. And so from the preliminary results, it looks quite promising, and so we're just waiting for that. So we'll be talking about those in future shows. So some of the reasons that we follow the company is they're a uranium-focused company. Their key projects are in Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is the best jurisdiction in the world for uranium. It's a major producer of uranium. And what's really quite exciting about this area is that there's a lot there's a lot of high grade discoveries in the region, and Fission is well positioned in this area with in an area with highly prospective projects. They're near the Midwest deposit that's owned by Areva, one of the world's largest producers, and Denison and Ord Canada. They're right beside the Rough Rider deposit, which is owned by another company from our reports called Hathor. There is a large geophysical anomaly that goes through the Midwest discovery of Areva and Denison into the Rough Rider zone of Hathor, and then also a large portion of that anomaly is on Fission's ground, and now Fission is also having success with their drilling, Fission's not as advanced as Hathor in the Rough Rider or the Midwest discovery, but they're starting to have some real success with their drilling, and we like their potential to advance those discoveries and also make new ones. And so, as always, we suggest that the best place that all of our viewers do their homework on any of the companies we talk about. And in the case of Fission, if you'd like to do some homework, a great place to start that is on their website that I mentioned earlier, fission-energy.com, where you'll find plenty of information about their efforts and news, and a good place to do your research on the company. So that's a wrap on our In the News part of the show. Before closing, we'd like to stress that this show and our reports are for information purposes only. We aren't making buying or selling recommendations. It's important for you to do your own research and homework on the companies and speak with your financial advisors before making any investment decisions. We're always trying to grow our audience, and any efforts you make to let your friends that follow the markets know about our reports, our website, and our shows would be greatly appreciated. We also really appreciate you taking the time to watch these shows. We know that everybody is very busy these days, and we strive to produce a show that saves you time and brings you helpful, high-quality information. Our next show, we're going to do another show tomorrow, which we'll be doing another In the News show, and we'll be discussing recent developments from some resource companies with high-quality projects. Best way to find out about all the work that we're doing is to be a subscriber to our email list. There's no charge to be a subscriber, and if you look above me on the website, there's a subscribe section. Just fill out that information, and we'll add you to our email list and keep you updated on all the work that we're doing. We hope you can join us for our next show, and you can find all of our work on our website at allenberryreports.com. We'll see you soon, and have a great day.